When I became a YouTuber, I was expecting a lifestyle like that of KSI. But instead, I'm sat here wondering, KS, why don't I have any money? As a YouTuber, you know, I was expecting my bank account to be thicker than Kim K. And it's just not happening. Ellbat, if I can just, Ellbat, what do you want? I have something that could, you know, just fix this issue. I literally just like need money, so I'm all ears. You could just get a real job. The problem is I have grown accustomed to a very specific type of lifestyle. That's just a way for me to make waking up at 2 p.m. every day sound a little bit more exotic. See, the problem is I'm an attention whore, and it's very hard to work down the local co-op. Someone would come in asking where the kidney beans were, and before we knew it, I was lip-syncing Rihanna in aisle 10. Like, I'm not cut out for it. So after deeply searching through my soul and the internet, I came across 2 perfect jobs for me. The first being porn, and the second being selling feet pictures. Now, porn seemed like a great option until I remembered that I sat opposite me nan at Christmas dinner. Hi! And it's gonna make the spreading of the turkey's thighs just that little bit too weird. So after a little bit of clicking around, I found that Twitter is actually just this massive hub for foot fetishism. I'm starting to think that the people who made Twitter made it originally as a feet sharing community. Because think about it. Tweet, feet. Very similar words. Very similar. I came across a thread of a woman who said she made £50,000 a year from selling photos of her feet. From selling these. She made £50,000 from a foot. Mad. So obviously I wanted to hop in on this. I didn't want anyone to know that it was me, YouTube sensation Ellbat. So I made an undercover foot pictures account. And I thought, here, I'm going to be dishing out feet pics left, right and centre, and I'm going to be raking in the cash. Unfortunately for me, it seemed that every other woman on the planet had also decided to make an undercover foot selling Twitter account. There's a lot of them. Like, a lot. Just go onto the foot fetish part of Twitter and just look at the hashtags, because they are something else. Foot freak, sexy souls, and my personal favourite was during the Super Bowl, Super Soul Sunday. It's like the mecca of foot fetish hashtags. Doesn't get better than that, kids. That person just peaked. They peaked. To this day, bet that's the proudest thing they've ever done in their life. Bet. I didn't actually find anyone who wanted to buy my feet pics on Twitter, despite my best efforts. What I found an abundance of was just old men just saying they were rich when really they have no money and they just want attention. I just described myself, didn't I? So what I realised was that selling foot pictures on Twitter, it's, you know, it's for amateurs. It's for a giggle. Does this face look like it wants a giggle? No. This face looks like it wants cash. Cold, hard, cash. And so I abandoned my Twitter account, love you at Feeling Feet, and I headed onto the internet to find another place to sell my glorious feet pictures. I found a bunch of websites that sell feet pictures to people who want feet pictures, but they take 50%, which was a bit steep considering I need every single penny I can get. And just as luck would have it, I got approached by someone on my emails who said, hey, bit of an odd request, but would you mind sending me a feet pic? And I could not believe my luck. Here I was scouring the lands for someone after me feet, and one just happens to slide right on into my inbox. It was fate. He just goes off, tells me how much money he's willing to pay for feet pictures, and I'm sat there thinking, quick 50 quid. He's just gonna send me 50 quid, and I'm just gonna send him a foot pic. Done. Made. Happy. But no, that's not quite where the conversation went. At this point, my anonymous friend said to me that he was going to need to see a preview of my little piggies here. He just wanted to price up me feet. Now, I thought this was a little bit odd because obviously I'm a newbie to the whole foot thing. But after a Google, I found out that actually asking for previews of feet is actually pretty common. People use the previews to decide how much a foot is worth and how much they're willing to pay for exclusive pictures. But interestingly, on these pages talking about foot previews, every single one of them said you have to slightly blur the photos of your feet. And apparently it's because a lot of the time people ask for previews, you send photos of your feet and then they do a runner with the goods and you never get paid. Nay, I'm not going to be fooled by this, you know. I need the cash money. So I shot our anonymous friend a message, and what they replied with was essentially along the lines of,
how am I to judge the beauty of a flower if I can't see the detail of the petals?
Basically what he was saying is he couldn't price up me feet if he couldn't see me piggies. At this point, I didn't know what to do. If I said no, I might lose the buyer, but if I said yes and he did a runner with me pics, I'd be cashless. So I messaged a good mate of mine who I thought out of all of my friends probably has tried to sell feet pictures before. So I hopped on the phone to Calix. I explained the situation and said, look, I'm worried. My man's gonna probably do a runner with me feet pics. To which he basically just said, do it anyway. I thought, okay, I'm gonna make this the best foot preview you've ever seen in your life. So I hollered at my mother Shaz, and she gave me a very nice pedicure, by the way. Shout out Shaz. And we made my feet beautiful. Something that you probably wouldn't notice before is that, much like your face, your feet have good angles and bad angles. And so I spent a solid 30 minutes exploring my angles. Never thought I'd see my camera roll full of feet, but there we were. I think I took probably 300 photos of my feet that day. Definitely gone down as one of the weirder days of my existence. Now this person wanted to see my feet, and then also the soles of my feet too. And with my heart pounding and my sweat slightly pouring, I attached 2 of my best, most flawless feet pictures, and then I set them free. There they go. And then I waited. And 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 I waited! 4 days went by and I'd heard nothing from my anonymous foot buyer. It was more upsetting than sending a nude and being left on red. So I shamelessly sent another email. I quickly received an email back and they basically said that they were on holiday and they would get back to me the week of the 25th. And I thought, okay, that's pretty believable. I'll cut them some slack, you know? I'll leave it as it is. I'll choose to trust them with my feet pictures. And so I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited. And I waited. But the week of the 25th came and went and there was no response. At this point, I started to get a little bit worried and I sent my resident foot pic expert Calix another message. I told him I was concerned that he was going to do a runner with me foot pics. And Calix said, as he always does, just keep going with it. And so I did. And I waited. It was at this point that I, clawing to the cash that had been snatched from my fingertips, sent another email. I tried to sound dignified, but I think the desperation was seeping out of every single word that I wrote. If we read between the lines of that email, it goes something like this.
Please don't run up with my foot pictures. I really need the cash, and just don't tease me like that. It's just so rude, and I just need some money, and I just had 30 minutes trying to angle my feet pictures, and I didn't even know I had good and bad angles on my feet. Please, I got a pedicure and my mama to touch my feet, and she complained about it, so please, I just need the cash.
The next week there was no response to the email. So if you're wondering about the answer to how much money I made selling foot pictures, here's your answer. Nothing! Not a single penny. 0. Zilch. Naught. I am 2 foot pictures down and no cash up. How did that happen? I lost my foot picture virginity and got no money for it. I'm just gonna leave my PayPal in the pinned comment, and if anyone would like a foot picture, now I'm a resident expert, just send me 50 quid and your Twitter and I will send you a foot picture. I will do that. God gifted me with feet, and I'm going to use them to make money. On another note though, if you would like to support me and you don't want to see my nasty ass feet, I do have a Patreon. It's linked in the description and it is 100% foot free. Something I didn't expect I'd have to say on my YouTube channel, but there we are. Patreon, link in description, and no fee at all. Hey! So a lesson to all of you looking to sell your foot pics online. Just blur your previews, or your they're gonna steal your foot pictures. Like I got robbed in broad daylight. If you like this video, give it a cheeky little thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give it a thumbs down. It's a free world. You do you, boo. And in this case, if you did want to dislike it, I completely understand. There was a lot of feet in this video. A lot of feet. Like quite a abnormally large quantity of feet. So just give it a dislike if you want. Actually, I won't even be mad. To be honest, it was either this or becoming a porn star. So I'm glad that this is the direction we decided to go with on the Ellbat YouTube channel. Bye! I think the most concerning thing about all of this is the fact that my mum actively encouraged me to sell my feet for money.